Hello and welcome to Life in Surround. Today's topic is really just a channel introduction, so I'm going to try to answer the question, what is Life in Surround? Life in Surround is primarily this YouTube channel, but with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter tie-ins. Those tie-ins over time will have specific content, but their main purpose is really to direct attention to the YouTube channel. My intent is to share the joy of life. My focus is on music, specifically on music that has been mixed in surround, both studio albums and concerts. Why am I starting this channel? Number one, it's just to have fun and to enjoy my hobby. Number two, I would love to have a reason to listen to albums again. I think we are all familiar with collecting music or other things around the house, and there comes a time when you realize that it's been 10 years or more since you have enjoyed it. So this channel will give me a chance to listen to and watch everything in my collection at least one more time, and I'm looking forward to that. Number three, I'm just looking to spread my knowledge of surround music and share my passion for it. Looking around YouTube and seeing that there is no dedicated channel to surround music discussion and reviews, I think this is a good time to try something like this. Most of the discussion about surround music is either face-to-face, when you run into someone and the conversation just happens to come up, or on text-based mediums like forums, Facebook pages, blogs, things of that nature. And those are wonderful. I'm not looking to take away from them at all. I am a frequent flyer on quadrophonic.com, and I want to see it grow, not diminish. But there is a certain portion of the population that is at least more reachable by video. And my goal is to raise awareness of this wonderful hobby, enjoy it more with those that are already involved, hopefully present it to those who just aren't aware that it's out there yet. Once upon a time, I didn't know anything about surround music. I more or less accidentally found out that a bonus disc for my Queen album, Night at the Opera, contained a 5.1 mix of the album. I was so intrigued by what that experience might be like that I threw together a cheap system, tried it out, my mind was blown, and I began my journey down the path of surround obsession, and the rest is history. So I'm trying to reach those out there who haven't started their journey yet either. I personally own hundreds of surround albums across a vast array of genres. Very, very, very eclectic collection, mostly centered around pop, but lots of rock, some metal, ambient, electronica, world, country, jazz, reggae, classical, choral, and more. I intend to review and discuss everything in my collection. And even if I were to do an album a week, that would probably take like 16 to 20 years. So I'm gonna have to work out a system of getting to titles a little bit faster than that. I'm probably going to do one review for box sets. Some bands have put out multiple albums in a set, like Chicago did Quadio, their first 10 albums. Genesis has 3 different box sets that span their career. Björk has her surrounded box. I would say that most of the public who are interested in entertainment at all are aware that movies are most often mixed in surround. And I would argue that on some level, most people would agree that movies are more immersive and more engaging and just more fun when they are treated with a good surround mix. I would say that relatively few people are aware that music albums are also mixed in surround. And there are also concerts out there that have really interesting mixes, not just crowd noise in the background, but also important musical elements, maybe additional guitars, keyboards, background vocals, sound effects that spiral around the room. So I won't be reviewing a whole lot of concerts, but the ones that have notable mixes I will. Compared to the number of albums that are mixed in stereo and concerts that really just have the band in the front and crowd in the back, The number of albums that come out in surround and concerts that have really interesting mixes is pretty small, but there might be more than you think. I, for instance, am not the most rabid collector I've ever met, and I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of titles, way, way, way more than a sane person ought to have. So there is a lot of selection out there. Artists that are both up and coming, artists that are relatively unknown, very, very, very popular groups, Pink Floyd, Metallica, Miles Davis, Diana Krall, and groups that are more obscure. And just as with movies, how the experience is more engaging and more immersive and, in my experience, more enjoyable when it's treated with a really, really good surround mix. The same goes for music. There's almost nothing that I like more in this world than to sit down with an album that I like musically and to be just immersed in a really, really great surround mix. Either an active one where stuff is spinning around the room and getting all crazy, or a static one where important information is set in their ears and it stays there. As long as the mix brings something more to the table than just a wall of sound out in front of me. People like to make the argument that stereo is king because we only have 2 ears. And that would be logical if our ears were mounted on the front of our face. But the fact of the matter is that they're mounted on the sides of our heads, and we hear in more or less a sphere. We see straight ahead best, but we really hear all around us. If we couldn't hear behind us, below us, or above us, I don't think the human race would have lasted as long as it has. So, just as stereo is a bit of an upgrade from mono, because now you're playing with, our ability to hear things left and right. Surround is an upgrade from stereo because it just maximizes more of our sense of hearing. It can be done distastefully in a distracting way that's annoying, but it can also be done magnificently in a way that's expanding and just absolutely bonkers mind-blowing. If you want to call me out on that and test it, I would recommend trying Alan Parsons' 1973 mix of Dark Side of the Moon or the 2001 release of Brain Salad Surgery by ELP on DVD audio, just to have your mind blown. You may have one or more favorite albums out there in the world already mixed in surround, just waiting for you to enjoy. Now, you may not even have a surround system. Like me, you may find that you accidentally have one or a handful of surround albums in your CD collection or something like that, or in your DVD collection. And you may want to go out to Best Buy or look on Craigslist or Amazon or something and just get yourself a starter surround system. Set it up, test it out, see if your mind is blown and if it's worth pursuing the hobby further. You may already have a surround system at home for listening to movies, and in which case you may be able to do some quick Googling, find a favorite album on Blu-ray or DVD or something like that, pop it in, see what you think. You may already be a surround music enthusiast with a system set up. So I'm not only here to raise awareness for people who don't yet know about this hobby, but also for people who want to know more about this hobby, but also just to enjoy this hobby together with those who are already really engaged in it. So, if you find this topic interesting, surround music, both studio albums and the more interesting concerts, I encourage you to interact with this channel. If you like this and other videos, remember to leave a thumbs up. If you don't like this or other videos, leave a thumbs down. If you have something interesting to say, leave a comment. If you'd like to request an album review, leave a comment. If you'd like to bash me, leave a comment. If you'd like to offer some encouragement, leave a comment. I am looking at ways to constantly improve this channel. Some things are outside of my control right now. I'm doing this video from a USO sound room on a base somewhere in Southwest Asia. So I'm borrowing the facilities. I'm doing the best I can with what has been offered. I've got some travel gear attached to my smartphone right now. When I get home in just a few months, we have a Canon DSLR, some LED light panels, a nice set, nice microphone, ready to go. So I'm constantly going to be looking at ways to improve this channel. Your comments will definitely be listened to. Your feedback will definitely be integrated into this channel. If you leave comments with something interesting to say or with questions, I will definitely get back to you as long as I'm aware that they're there. So I'm looking for this to just expand the Surround community, enhance the community, raise everybody's enjoyment. And you know what? The more people that we can get interested, listening, buying albums, it's gonna create demand. It's going to encourage record companies to put out even more awesome music in surround. It could lower prices. It's just gonna raise enjoyment. And you know what? Life is short. You got to enjoy it. So I'm just looking to do something good for the surround community. So help me help the community just by interacting with this channel, because that's how YouTube determines that a channel is important. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments, ring that bell down there, share this channel, tell your friends. It will all help the surround community. And if you're so inclined, look up Life in Surround on Twitter and on Instagram. There's a Facebook page. Go ahead and follow those or like it or whatever, interact with it. And all that said, until next time, remember, life is best lived in surround.